So let's talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I honestly think people are still underestimating just how dangerous this team could be in 2025. And maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's the exact mindset this team thrives under, because one of the biggest themes around this Bucs team right now is that they've got a roster full of guys with something to prove. Guys who always play with a chip on their shoulder, guys who have been disrespected, overlooked, underappreciated, or even flat out ignored. And I think that's exactly what's going to make them one of the NFL's toughest outs this season. This is kind of going to be a different video than normal because Pete Prisco's top 100 players list just came out, and it was a bit of a shock how underrepresented the Bucs were on it. And listen, I like Pete. He's had good things to say about Tampa Bay in the past. I'm not even a Buccaneers fan, but he definitely has, and he's just a reputable name. But this year's list, it had me and a lot of other people scratching their heads a little bit. The Bucs only landed 5 players on it, which already feels low, but it's the placements that really caught my attention. Tristan Wirfs came in at number 20, which that's fair. He's still arguably the best left tackle in football and clearly the top dog on this Bucs roster. But then you scroll and you don't see another Buccaneer until number 57, and that's where we get Baker Mayfield. And this is where I start to lose it, because I get it, Baker's always going to be a polarizing name, but the reality is, the guy just had the best season of his career, and arguably one of the best statistical seasons of any quarterback in the entire league in 2024, with over 4,500 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, and a 71.4 completion percentage. He had fewer turnovers than usual, and he did it with Mike Evans missing 3 games due to injury, Chris Godwin suffering a season-ending injury, dislocating his ankle in week 7, and developing run game, but somehow Pete has him listed as the 8th quarterback and 57th overall player, behind guys like Jayden Daniels and Justin Herbert. I mean, come on. I like Jayden Daniels, I really do. He's electric, he's fun, he was clutch for Washington. I think he probably has the highest ceiling of any quarterback in the league, and there's a ton of reason to be excited about him in Washington, but we're putting him over a guy who just carried a banged up Bucs offense to the playoffs and won the NFC South division title. And don't even get me started on Justin Herbert. How many times are we going to keep hyping this guy up in the offseason just to watch the Chargers flame out again? Herbert's had more hype and more weapons and yet less production when it actually counts. I'd take Baker over Herbert any day right now, and I wouldn't even think twice about it. Maybe you can make an argument for Jayden Daniels because he did put Baker out of the playoffs, but still, the Herbert thing just makes no sense. And then we get to Mike Evans at 82. Yes, 82. The guy just posted his 11th straight 1,000-yard season, tying Jerry Rice's NFL record for most consecutive 1,000-yard receiving seasons, and he just got paid again. He's the emotional heartbeat of this offense, and he shows up in big moments time and time again. He's clutch, he's consistent, and yet somehow we're putting him behind Terry McLaurin, T. Higgins, Nico Collins, and a rookie in Malik Neighbors. That's just disrespectful. And by the way, Chris Godwin didn't even make the list. Like, he doesn't even exist. You're telling me there's 100 better football players than Chris Godwin? Really? Maybe with the injury, I guess, and maybe I'm biased, but that's just wild to me even as he gets older. Antoine Winfield showed up at 89, and I'm actually okay with that. He had a bit of a down year in 2024, appearing in only 9 regular season games or something like that due to his foot injury, but he's still one of the most versatile and high IQ safeties in the NFL. If he gets back to that level in 2025, he'll fly back up on these lists. The guy makes game-changing plays and is the leader of the secondary. If you're building a defense around a modern safety, he's the type of guy that you want. And then Bucky Irving rounds things out for the Bucs at number 94. And I get it, he had an outstanding rookie season. He was named PFF's highest graded rookie for 2024, totaling 1,122 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns with an impressive 5.4 yards per carry. But you want to see a sustain before you crown him. I'm fine with that logic. But what really grinds my gears is who didn't make the list at all. Vita and Lavonte David. I mean, how does Vita not crack this list? He's one of the most dominant interior defenders in the league. In 2024, he recorded 7 sacks and 42 total tackles while commanding double teams and creating lanes for everyone else to make plays. He's a force. And Lavonte David, I get it's easy to overlook him because he's not loud, he's not flashy, and he's not on social media every day like that. But the guy has been one of the most consistent linebackers in football for over a decade. In 2024, he led the Bucs defense with 122 tackles and 5.5 sacks, and he also had 9 tackles for a loss, 6 passes defensed, and an interception, and 3 forced fumbles as well in his 13th NFL season. He's the glue of the defense, and you're telling me Bobby Wagner makes the list but not Lavonte David? What this list did, probably unintentionally, was remind us that this Bucs team is full of guys with something to prove. It lit a fire, whether it's Baker trying to prove he belongs in the elite tier, or Mike Evans showing he's still one of the best receivers in football, or Lavonte fighting to get the respect he's earned for 10 plus years. This whole locker room is going to be fueled by doubt once again. And nobody embodies that mindset more right now than rookie Benjamin Morrison. I listened to that Outliers podcast episode, and man, this guy's got the perfect Bucs mentality. He talked about how the Bills told him they were going to draft him, literally told him to his face they were going to come get him, and then when the moment came, they took somebody else. Morrison's coming into this season already with receipts. He's ready to prove them wrong. And look, Morrison wasn't some long shot prospect. He would have been a first rounder if not for the hip injury that ended his 2024 season at Notre Dame. The only reason he slipped to the second round was because he missed time, and some teams got scared of that. But this is a high IQ, technically sound, battle-tested cornerback who has gone up against NFL-level receivers since he was a freshman. He locked down Marvin Harrison Jr., he went head-to-head with elite college receivers throughout his career, he's seen elite talent, and he shut it down to the best of his ability. So when Rob Ring compared him to Ronde Barber, I actually didn't hate it. I'm not saying Morrison is going to be anything like Barber, that's a lofty comparison, but I get the idea. Morrison's game is built on anticipation, ball skills, and awareness. He doesn't win with freak athleticism, he wins because he understands angles, route concepts, leverage, and that's what Ronde did. If Morrison stays healthy and grows into his role in this defense, we could be talking about him as the best Bucs corner since Barber, and let's not forget, he's going to be tested. Tampa Bay has one of the toughest wide receiver schedules in the league in 2025. They face AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Garrett Wilson, Brandon Ayuk, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chris Olave, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams as well. So they'll see plenty of elite receivers. Morrison will have every opportunity to prove exactly who he is. If he rises to the occasion, this secondary might quietly become one of the nastiest units in the NFL. I think what's getting lost in the national conversation is just how deep and experienced this Bucs roster is. We're talking about a team that's returned its quarterback, top 2 receivers when healthy, best offensive linemen, all 3 starting linebackers, and a large chunk of its defensive core as well. They also added young talent like Jalen McMillan, who had a breakout rookie season with impressive chemistry with Baker Mayfield, and Graham Barton on the O-line, though he struggled in his rookie year transitioning from left tackle to center. Most teams in the NFC South are either rebuilding or still trying to figure it out, but the Bucs, they've already got continuity, and they've added to it with guys like late first round pick Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State, and also Morrison. Jason Licht deserves a ton of credit. This roster construction has been about finding value, whether it's guys like Baker on a prove-it deal, or hitting on mid-round rookies, or keeping the veterans who still have plenty left in the tank. It's a balanced, well-thought-out team with legitimate firepower on both sides of the ball. The Bucs finished the 2024 season with a 10-7 record, winning the NFC South for the 4th consecutive time. They made the playoffs for the 5th straight year, but fell short in the wildcard round, losing to the Washington Commanders 23-20 on a last-second field goal. However, this isn't a team just trying to sneak back into the playoffs. This is a team that believes they can win the NFC, and they're going to be going for revenge. One challenge they'll face, though, is the departure of offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, who left to become the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars after initially agreeing to return to Tampa Bay. The Bucs have promoted Josh Grizzard from pass game coordinator to offensive coordinator, and he, at just 34 years old, brings experience from his time with the Miami Dolphins under Mike McDaniel, and he will be calling plays for the first time. The good news is that the Bucs are returning all 11 offensive starters, providing continuity despite the coaching change. So if you're still sleeping on the Bucs in 2025, that's on you. That's your mistake. They've got the quarterback, the weapons, the defense, the continuity, and now the added motivation of being overlooked once again. So go ahead, rank them low, doubt Baker, forget about Mike Evans, leave Godwin off your list, pretend Lavonte David isn't still a beast, and keep ignoring everyone else while you're at it. I think this is a team that's going to make some noise in 2025, and I'm not just saying that to say that. They've got all the tools. It's just about putting it all together. I love Emeka Egbuka. I love that draft pick. Obviously, I'm a little biased. I'm an Ohio State fan, but still, this team is loaded, and I think that they are going to be out for revenge. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this one and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.